Hello and welcome back to Cooking with Nick and Andrew. That's how we're starting today, Nick. I figured it was right for our food-based chocolat that we have been working on.
Oh, yes.
Hello, welcome back. Yes, we are finishing up the influencer boxes here today. Keith Aguilar. This is the Adobe live stream we'll be doing today, packaging design with our friend Nick Longo. Nick, do you want
What's
to
up?
introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Nick Longo. I'm a Los Angeles-based graphic design branding person. Run a small group called Longo Designs here. We do mostly branding for food and beverage and restaurant. My three favorite areas to be in. Oh, yes.
Hello,
Fantastic
welcome.
kind of work if you can get it. I'm a design instructor at Cal State Northridge here in LA as well, a fellow educator like my friend Andrew over here. Man, just love everything branding. That's kind of my zone, and packaging really is what led me into that over the years. So we are going to be continuing on from yesterday's show. Excited to get going.
Yeah, and you do some incredible branding work, incredible
Thank
packaging
you.
work. You can see more of that at longodesigns.com. Wade's going to drop some links for you there. And then follow
Cool.
along on Instagram at instagram.com/longodesigns or just at longodesigns on
It's all there.
Instagram. And there's a link tree in that Instagram that literally has everything you'd ever want to know about Nick. So
It's all there.
you can go there. I clicked on it yesterday when you were talking about it, and I was like, there's a lot of links here. So,
Well, it's such a good idea, right? Because you only get that one
yep.
and might as well expand it. So
Yes, so
Illustrator is
eternal
as
amount
a
of
gem.
links from our friend Nick over there. So you can check that out over on Instagram. Outside of this stream, there are a bunch of ways that you can get involved that I want to talk about real quick. I think a lot of you are probably coming over from the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. So that just wrapped up and it's going on right now with our friend Cloudy. And the challenge right now is to make some neon illustrations you guys were
Nice.
making. So we're going to take a look at those at the end of this stream. We'll have a little bit of fun, but if you want to get connected, you can go to behance.net/challenge/illustrator, the place to get involved. Nick's going to be working a little bit in Illustrator today. So if you see
Yeah.
something and you're like, I want to know how to do that, join the Daily Creative Challenges. We might cover it. You'll learn and be able to level up. And you also can hop in and put your projects in Discord, which is right here. My favorite part of the show where we point to an imaginary thing above our heads.
I
I'm
see
actually
it.
pointing to a bunch of the command strips that are hanging on my ceilings. So at the command strips right above me, you can go to that link and get involved in our community. That's where you can get feedback. It's a thriving community of creatives, and that's where we will be at the end of the day over here in the challenge tab. I see that some of you are already dropping in your neon illustrations. Cloudy is. So thanks, Cloudy. A little,
Nice.
we got some Stranger Things
I
vibes
see
going on
that.
with that neon.
Yeah. That
Fun.
would be the first thing I'd go for. It's something like 80s arcade, total fun,
Yes, I would
Stranger
do
Things.
like broken neon and like a
Hmm.
like dusty hallway, and there's like a detective like smoking outside. Like that's what I'd go for 100%. Like some kind of thing that like happened in the 30s, but somehow has
Yeah.
like this modern neon in it.
Yes, exactly. It has to have that film noir, first of
Yes,
all right?
yes, it's
Plus the 80s neon. Yeah, that'd be a good
yes.
little
Yeah,
combo.
Blade Runner, film noir. Yes. So excited. Let's go ahead and hop into what we're doing today.
Yeah.
I'll be tracking along. So, chat, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in chat. Nick and I love to talk, and we love to answer your
Heck yeah.
questions. Speaking of talking, Nick, what else do we do? Do you want to intro and give a
We
plug
talk
for
a
our other
lot,
show? We
and we
do.
talk a lot specifically on Friday. Every Friday, we do a show here called Office Hours, and it's kind of the came out of the whole idea of when schools were kind of shutting down and everyone was working virtually. We wanted to come together and put a show that you guys can hang out for an hour and learn from us, but also form a community. And it's been on for about 3.5, 4 months now, but we are looking at expanding it into an entire fall semester starting in a few weeks. That we're really excited about, and we're building the plans for that. and really looking for you to help drive us as far as what kind of content you want. But it is like a full curriculum. We're putting an entire semester together. So, you know, if you sign up, it's gonna be great.
It's going to
I
be a
can
whole
tell you.
thing. I'm dropping the link to the show tomorrow so that you guys can set your reminders. It is live in 24 hours, 1 p.m., so 25 hours actually, 1 p.m. tomorrow. I dropped that link. Nick, if you, or Wade, if you could just copy and paste that so people can click it, that'd be great. But yeah, we're doing, tomorrow we're talking about ways to increase your workflow. We're going to talk about developing a creative workflow, how we work through things individually, what my process is, and hopefully it'll help you streamline a little bit of your creative process.
And we do
So
portfolio reviews.
and we do
Can't forget
portfolio
that.
reviews. Yes, sorry. We do portfolio reviews. If you want to submit yours, post on social media, hashtag Adobe Office Hours, Twitter, Instagram, Behance, wherever you are. Post your work there and we will get to it and review it. So let's hop in. Chat, I need your
Whoa.
help today. If anything is going wrong, if anything sounds weird, I currently have not the right screens. My left audio just went out of my headphones, and we are continuing on. So if anything's on fire on your side, let me know. And over here, I'll just be the duck that feels like I'm putting out fires without you guys seeing it. So Nick, go ahead and take it away. I'm
All
going to
right,
transfer over to your screen and just let
let's
us know
do
what
it.
we're working on and where we're going today.
Perfect. So we're going to do a quick little recap of our objective for this project here. And what we have is a product that we just rebranded, and this is called Schocolat. Schocolat is a plant-based, healthy alternative to very sugary, overly processed chocolate spreads. And it's a fantastic product. I went through a whole jar of it the other day when it came in the mail. Holding out on that last one, I kept the hazelnut because I'm like, it's so good. And just being like a health conscious person, it's always cool to find and work with companies like this. Uh, we just went through a rebrand, and I kind of showed off this very, I'll do it really quickly, but we went through a competitive analysis as far as rebranding them, seeing what the competition looked like. Here's kind of some slides of what we put together. We realized at this point that this is kind of the goal. We wanted something a little cleaner, modern, something that's going to really shine on shelves and really geared towards mom. You do have to pick that target of who your brand is, like who's that super fan, who's the prime buyer. Yes, everyone's going to probably buy this, but you got to kind of think who's the prime buyer here. And we wanted to make sure there was a quick reference as to what it is so no one was confused with it. So again, gave them some great examples of current packaging that are in this field. These were some of the ideas that everyone liked. And then what we did was we kind of went through a little process. We go through some exploration, kind of understanding what kind of designs are going to work best here. We came up with final designs, and these are the die lines that we did. We have two flavors. We have a peanut butter and we have a hazelnut. So these are really delicious, super good. Here's our mission, or here we are, final designs. This is kind of where we're at. And we have to do something really cool for them now. So this is like a brand board, great colors, all the typography. The cool thing we got to do now is put together this influencer box. And this is the first one I've done. In fact, I kind of didn't even know the term until the client emailed me and said, well, we are going to make about 2,000 of these boxes that you can see here. They're going to come with 4 of the products in there, 2 of each flavor. And the idea here is to find influencer people, folks on the internet, folks on social media, folks on Twitter that are in their space, the healthy living, the alternative plant-based diets, anyone looking or that has a successful social media platform. They want to send these to them. And the hope is that the box is so engaging that they'll open this thing up, they'll do an unboxing video, they'll share the hashtags, they'll share the Amazon link, and promote the product for them. Obviously, they get a great little product in the mail. So we looked over and we were looking at different things here, and we have a budget. So again, a lot of times you find great projects like this and you see reference and you go, oh, this is great. They got 4-color processing on the outside. They got 4-color processing on the inside. We can only afford 4-color processing. So it's CMYK on the outside. The inside gets 1-color PMS. So it's a spot color. And if you notice here, it is craft on the inside. So we have to pick probably a very dark color for it to work because it will only get 1 color to print, okay? So our mission before I get into where we left off yesterday was this. We're gonna create an impactful box for influencers to film, post, share on social media, maybe even do the unboxing. We're going to incorporate that all the new branding that we've just done. And now we're taking something that was on a cylinder, right? When you're designing packaging for the cylinder, here's our cylinder shape. We're going to, we have sign language now from all of our packaging things. This is fold over. This is cylinder or sphere. We got to create really fun and engaging copy. And a lot of times, I know, Andrew, you do this a lot too, but as designers, I think if we can help with copywriting, specifically with headlines and taglines, maybe not so much so in like paragraph after paragraph, unless you're fantastic at it. I love being a designer that can help them out with a lot of this stuff. And then we want to remember to introduce the product again and show off all of its benefits. So we will go to here. This is where we left off.
Let's do
So
it. And I'm going to pop, I had my
yeah, go
camera off
for
just for a second to fix some stuff. So I'm going to pop back on camera. Achoo! There we go. I'm back. That's my favorite thing to do is sneeze back in. All right, so we're back. I think that all the tech stuff is worked out and figured out. Nick, there was a question that came in before we hop in. Is Laura asked, is this semester going to be focused on digital or print design or UX for office hours?
For everything.
Everything.
That is the goal.
Yes.
We are definitely trying to expand into even the elements that we don't know, that maybe we are in this wheelhouse, but we do realize our audience is going to be everybody. And really, I think most of the stuff we've been producing so far is really across the gamut, right? Like it's creative at its core.
Absolutely. So it is very much, we're trying to cater to the people who are copywriters, who's a history major that doesn't know they have access to Creative Cloud.
Yes.
If you're a student, most likely you have access to Creative Cloud and you may not know it. Your university probably has a license that you can activate. And so we're going to try to cover literally every way that you could use Creative Cloud, every way that you can be creative in whatever you are doing. So it will be across the board, general inspiration and guidance for your general career.
Yeah, I like the idea too, like you were saying, the non-creative for sure. We were just talking at our school yesterday, and we didn't realize how many people were taking design as a minor, at school too.
Yes.
So marketing folks that are taking design, and they all have the Creative Cloud. And the goal here is to get them to break it open, try it out, and see that, wow, there's little things here that they could use to their advantage just as much as all of us who are, hardcore designers.
Yep. And if you are, this is my, if you're going into the semester and you're a design major, try to minor or major in something as well, like get a double. So I did graphic design and public relations so that I can do copywriting as well as the design. So if you can get some kind of combo in there, you become such a crazy triple threat, double threat, triple, whatever. But if you can get something to tag onto there, it's so much better than having just design.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right, let's hop back over and take a look at the project and talk about where we're going today.
Excellent. So this is where we left off yesterday. We got pretty far. We were able to kind of put together, a pretty good look at where we were. I think I got most of the requirements in based on what the client had provided. And this gave us a good chance overnight to give it to the client and get some feedback from them. So that's what we're going to be working on first today. If everybody remembers my amazing sketch.
Wow. Are you a designer?
Captured on Adobe Capture because I want it to look good. My sketch, it's funny when you scan something, how much better you can drastically increase the contrast a little bit.
It feels like you're an artist. Yeah. It's like, ooh, he's got like artist handwriting. You're like,
look at my sketch. Yeah, Can you tell I took architecture for one semester?
Yes.
Right? I know a lot of us did. And then we bailed because we were like, math is a little too hard. Let's go to graphic design.
I did that with theater. I did a semester of theater and was like, I don't know if this is a viable career for me. Let's go do design.
I love it. That'd be funny to hear if anybody in chat has a story about.
Oh yeah, chat. Let us know if you were going to do something else and then it came over to design. What were you doing before? And if you are a designer that was in design, what is the thing that you would do if you were not a designer? For me, I would want to go be a marine biologist. I want to study the ocean. I think it's so cool. What would you do, Nick, if you weren't a designer? What would you end up?
Hands down, I'd be a chef on Food Network. I'd have my own show. I'd be giving Guy Fieri a run for his money.
Heck yeah.
I know Italian food. But anyways, that would be would be my goal.
That's hilarious. Carol, the very first answer from Carol, I switched from marine science to art. You're literally the opposite of me. That's hilarious.
Wow.
All right. Sorry. Okay. Enough of that. I'll read those chat as they come in and we'll come back to them.
And feel free, guys. Andrew's going to be keeping an eye on chat while I'm working.
Yep.
I'm not looking at it. So if you have any questions, whatever, feel free, interrupt me. I don't care. That's why we're here. You know,
Yes. Yep. Chat, you
we've
yell
all
at me and I'll yell at him.
there you go. We've all been working alone. It's time to work together, right?
That's it.
Let's do it. Okay. So we were in this zone. We had kind of everything figured out. We still had some extra space to kind of play with. One of the things we wanted to talk about was when this box folds over and then you still get the other side that has one color. We want to make sure as we're designing it, there's really cool captions and things on there. So when we showed this idea to the client, they really liked this idea of doing some of the wording as some of the graphics. But what happened was is they thought this is a little too important here to just be in the background. So we're going to work on pulling that out and then putting something totally different in there as the background to just really have fun with it. Okay. So we were still missing a few things. And the one thing that we had a little debate on was this curved chocolate kind of gooiness at the bottom. And as much as they liked it, that it framed it or it gave it a good base, we realized that when the box was constructed, we would have to make that entire bottom part brown as well to make it look aesthetically good. And our problem there was in 3D, it just wasn't looking too well. So we're going to axe that, but we still want to create the same impact. Okay. So I'm going to go to day 2, and here's where we're at. So
This, Nick, you just did the cooking show thing where you're
yes,
like, so we're going to put these ingredients and toss them in the oven. All right. So here it is right out of the oven. Like you literally just did it. So
I know
I
I've been
sign off
watching
on your
way
cooking
too
show.
much.
Signed off.
I love it, man. So here's what we did. First, before we went any further, I duplicated a second artboard. You can see what I did here. And it's literally the same. I'm still keeping the template here as one layer and the art as the other layer, right? And that works when you slide over in one document. What's really nice about that is it keeps the layer intact. Sometimes if you bring it over to another document, you got to make sure when you're pasting it that your legacy in layers is on. But what I love about this is just sliding it over worked out pretty great. So we're going to build that other side here in a sec on the inside, but we got a few things to do here, which we want to do. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Here's kind of what we kind of ended up with. We've got the plant-based thing here. The cool thing about it, and I can't remember if we looked at this yesterday, but it hides the old one.
I was gonna say that's such a like boss move seeing yesterday that it's like, oh, we had an issue yesterday with a photo that it has an actual photo of the old packaging, but we wanted to use the photo still as a key art. And so we were trying to figure out how to crop it, and the crop was looking a little weird. And so we cropped it and then just put that's so genius.
Great. And it looks so purposeful, right? Like it's like it's really it fits. And I think those are those little things
perfectly right there. Yep.
Yeah. And these are those things too, when you do, I think a client really appreciates it because they don't have to hire their photographer to do a last minute photo shoot.
Yep.
And also too, I was thinking of doing some photoshopping on it, but the thing about it was, it's a little blurry. The background's not so strong to kind of create. So I'm just thinking the best thing I could do is literally just put our plant-based thing on there, carry over with the curved text and do that. Yep. So we've got everything here as far as what we want to say in the front. We love our front panel here. It's got everything. We're going to work on these panels a little bit too here. So
which yesterday, we talked a little bit about the auto spell check in Illustrator that I did not know about. I usually run like a manual spell check. And so last night I was working on something and turned it on and found a whole bunch of spelling errors. And now it is a part of my process. So that's why you watch these streams, because you learn things and you actually apply them into your applications of like how you work.
Now, the only reason it's doing this is because I think I did a hard line break. Yep. And what it's doing is it wants to capitalize the B for believe. So I'm just going to leave it as that.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Illustrator. You're probably better at spelling than I am. And I just messed it up a little bit there. All right, cool. So we're going to go here. So this is kind of a fun little area to work on because it is a little bit different in background and stuff there. But the thing we wanted to do was we wanted to put a pattern. So this panel here, when it folds over, these kind of go like this and go like that. So they will be, so there's a new one. It goes like this. And so it's basically, this is the top spine. Like consider that like a book.
And it like snaps into the bottom of the box inside, right?
With these little lock tabs. So these little lock tabs will snap into here, keeps it in place. So we've got all this to kind of mess around with. So when you have something that's a little bit different and you want to flood it with a pattern. Sometimes maybe at a 45-degree angle might be a great way to do it or something. So we want to do this enjoy pattern and just have enjoy the goodness or spread the goodness or whatever. So I'm going to mess around with that, and we're going to take our body copy here because we like this. This is our font called Vance. That is like our uh, kind of, let's call it the brand font.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm just going to start messing around with it, and we're going to take enjoy here. And then our other line is goodness. We can do that with an exclamation point as well. And let's say plant-based is our other one that we want to do. So I'm going to do plant-based. Okay. So we did this yesterday where we were kind of messing around and kind of going like, let's build a little bit of a pattern here. So if I take, let's see, goodness here.
And I'm going to put up both of our screens real quick while we do this.
Go for it.
Someone asked in chat, where can you find and turn on the auto spell check? So if you look at my screen above me,
go for it.
So this is like the picture-in-picture feature. You can look at my screen above me, Nick's above him, and if you type something out, if you just right-click on this, you can go to spelling, and then you can either check spelling of just that box, of the selection, of the entire document, or you can turn on auto spell check. So you do that right here, no hotkey for it. But if you right-click on any text, then you're able to turn that on, and it will apply to the whole document.
Excellent. Perfect. So I want to make a staggered kind of almost step and repeat kind of vibe of this thing. So I've selected all three, and I'm basically just going to Option Shift down, maybe slightly about here so I have enough. And then once I do that and I let go, I can just hit Command D, and you can continue to get that pattern, and it evenly spaces it. Brings it, even if you do it at an angle. It's so great, right?
Yep.
So all I'm going to do is like, I need another enjoy over here. So I'm going to bring that here. I need another, maybe all these two here.
And if you watch Daily Creative Challenges, you also can do that with blends.
Yes.
Tune in, you can make some awesome blends and do these same effects in different ways. Again, there's no wrong way to design. As long as it works for you, it works for you.
So let's see. I'm going to bring another plant-based over here. I'll bring another.
That exclamation mark's so good in that font.
Oh, it's so awesome, right?
Yeah, it's got that nice, it looks like a little like Illustrator
pen. Right?
It's like dipping into ink. It's just perfect.
So I've got enough. I'm just going to take the whole thing and dupe it maybe one more time. Right about there. And I've got myself kind of a cool thing here that I could do whatever I want. You can actually make this a pattern, which is kind of cool. There's so many different ways to do it. Just to keep it live, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of mask it really quick. So I'm going to take the whole thing. I'm going to group it. And I know on this panel here, I want it to be this lighter color that we're using in the rings, right? Oop, I missed a few enjoys there, it looks like. Let's do that. Get the whole thing, group. And with the eyedropper, I'm just going to grab that so I know it's there.
Got it.
Let's bring this over. This looks disgusting, but it's going to look cool, trust me.
That's the best thing when you're working with clipping mask, putting it into an area. It's just total chaos, and then somehow it like looks okay.
Yeah, exactly, right? So trying to figure out, like, I think what's interesting is if we go like that, see how the 45-degree will kind of work on both sides of that panel in a way. So I'm just going to make it a bit bigger so it covers everything here. And that's really kind of all I need here. So that's grouped. I'm going to copy it and cut it. I know it's in my clipboard. And what I need to do now is build a custom mask of the space that I want it to kind of work in.
Yep, that's so smart to cut it and keep it on your clipboard, because I would try to work with it on there and it would just be total chaos. And so it's so smart to pull it and then you can paste back in place.
Exactly, right.
With Command Option V or Control Alt V.
Yep. So keep in mind, I know I have this in here it's already masked, right? So that background color is masked within this outer shape. So that's pretty easy for me, because now all I have to do is I'm just going to make, let's see, we'll go to pen tool, unselect everything. And I'm just going to start at this one. I'm going to go here. I can go outside this because I know it's going to work. We can go here. I'm just making this kind of sloppy. We'll go here.
Nothing wrong with that, as long as it works.
Love it. because we always, yeah, exactly. So now I have this. And just to see it, I'm going to give it a no fill and just a red line. So I know it's there, right? So with that selected, I'm going to hit paste behind. Now it comes right behind it. I click that and this. Let's make sure they're all selected. Is it there? God,
Command 7? What's
there
the
we go.
hotkey for clipping mask?
Control 7 right there.
Got it.
Look at that. So I'm going to now do the same thing. I'm going to copy it, cut it. It's in my clipboard. I select with the other arrow, just the background thing, and I go paste in front. There it is.
There we go.
Perfect.
Now we've got a
So
little bit of
pretty
bleed.
cool.
It's perfect.
Exactly. So I want to make sure, why is it not? Because I think
And yes, Giratima, that flap side is going to fold inside the box.
Yes.
So that extra flap is going to fold over and then snap into the bottom of the box.
Yes, exactly. Perfect.
So, and again,
oh, I see what it did.
For chat, we talked about this yesterday. If you're ever working on packaging, you're going to get this template from the printer. So you're going to get this template from the printer, and you'll start working on it. And then the best thing to do is really print it out once you're done, cut it, and fold it. Make a little tiny box and see how that works. Someone in chat says, remember the orientation that might appear upside down when the box is folded. Yes. So that's the hard thing is mentally trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's so helpful to print a copy, cut it, and fold it, because then you can actually see where everything is landing. Because this mental games with this packaging stuff is so hard.
Yeah. So if we see that that's not working in our way, I think it's a great point, and I think these are the things that you have to look at, because you want to make sure you do these things and figure out the orientation before you show the client, because the last thing you want them is to catch that bad error or whatever. So if that's not working, I'm just going to take this over here. I know I've got it, and I'm gonna just take the mask off, which is release. And maybe what I got to do is figure some other kind of plan out here that I could just mess around with it on both sides. Okay. So with that in mind, I'm going to, let's just make a box that is right here. So we're going to do them panel by panel, just like that. Okay. And then this one, we got 2 of them. Perfect. This one will make it a little bit longer for the bleed. So I'm going to grab these 2, copy and cut them, come up here, paste. So now these are my windows, right? These are kind of that. So what's cool about 2 separate objects is you can mask one thing in there, and there's only one way to do it. You know what that is, right?
Paths.
I swear I'm going to make t-shirts with my favorite things. I think that's just hilarious.
Yep. I think compound paths is the #1 thing that I forget to do that I have to do all the time.
Exactly, right? So this is all grouped. I'm going to ungroup it. And let's make a few more. Let's see here. I'll try to grab that and see what happens. Yeah, we didn't get it all. Let's grab these. Let's see. What's the best way to select these? Just get them all. We don't need this guy anymore. We're getting messy, and I love it.
I wonder if you can select by
color.
Well, you can select same. So I'll put it up on my screen so you guys can see it both together. So you can go up here to select, and there's a bunch of options. If you click on same, there's a bunch of options in here that you can do: appearance, blending mode, fill stroke, all that stuff. And I was wondering if there was one that was same like font or same any kind of type things, but there's not. And so if you want to, you can select all the same. So if you're working on a design and you want to get everything that has a red stroke on it, you can go to same and select by same stroke color or the same stroke weight. Very, very easy to change. Super powerful tool. If you guys haven't used it, it is totally amazing.
Oh, especially when you have specks of that color everywhere and it's maybe like a star pattern or something kind of crazy.
Yep.
Right?
Or when you're working with a texture and you accidentally ungroup it and you're like, cool, it's over. Like there is just texture everywhere. I'll never come back from this.
So I just realized that we can't mask them in the same because they are different. We have to flip one to the other side, right? So it's just probably going to be easier. So I'm going to group that one. This one is all grouped too. Let me make sure this is all grouped.
And chat, let us know where you're watching from. That's my favorite
Yeah,
question to ask whenever I host one of these, because we always have people
perfect.
from all over the world. So let me know where you are, what state, what
Cool.
country, what universe, aliens. I see you. Um, Let me know where you're watching from.
Cool. So I think I figured it out. I flipped the text. So with this and this, I'm going to do a mask. With this and this, I'm going to do a mask. So
Boom.
now I've got these two. I can bring them down here and let's see how we did.
It's a masquerade. That's the
Uh,
quality content you get here on Streams with Nick and Andrew,
yes,
y'all. That's what
exactly.
you get.
So copy, cut, select this orange background and then do it in front. Perfect.
Yep.
So now all I got to do is move this guy a little bit over. He can go right to the spine. This can go right to the spine. So there we go. Now on the
Perfect.
flip side, it works. On the real side, it works. And we're good to go.
And now we can just copy and paste that for the other side, or we can click drag to make a copy of it.
Yep, I'm going to do it like that. We're going to take it over here. I think, like you said, we've got to take, so because I have other color, I was going to do the select same color, but
Yes.
we have that elsewhere, and that would mean turning it off everywhere else.
Yep.
So a lot of times, do you ever do, what do you do? I'm
So what
curious.
I would do is I would group that. So I would group those two together,
Yeah.
and then I would double click into the isolated group and
Yes.
then do select all colors. Because once you're in an isolated group, then it's not going to select all the other stuff.
There you go.
And so it's just super quick, and it would do that. Yeah.
So I'm going to try to get this color here. Ah, it worked. Look at that. I love it. Okay. Click out. Same here. Double click again. You get everything in the mask. That's so, man, like I remember years ago figuring that out, and you're like, I don't have to unmask it, or I would take it into a whole other new file and do the select same color because it wouldn't catch anything else, right?
Yep.
The things we do, and then Adobe figures it out.
Yep. So we had we had a question come through and then it disappeared. I believe it was from Wade. So Wade, if you actually have a question, pop it back in there. Let's do a roll call real quick. We've got friends from Arkansas, India, New Zealand, hot South Florida, Pennsylvania. Nice. I'm out in California, Southern California, and so is Nick actually.
Yeah, where in New Zealand are they coming from? I'd love to know.
Oh yeah, where in New Zealand? That is #1 on my trip.
That was my
list
first international trip ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
my God.
I got back from Australia 2 days before they shut down.
And that's right.
Yeah, I just got back.
That, man.
So I've been doing a lot of streaming with our friends in Australia. I've been doing the daily creative challenges. So if you are in New Zealand, if you are in Australia, come back August 31st. I believe we'll be doing another round of daily creative challenges specifically for you at noon your time. So it's 7 p.m. here, noon your time, and hang out with all of our friends in the AU.
That's very cool. Did they mention where they're from? I'd love to know.
Oh, not yet. Okay, Wade has dropped his question back.
Yes.
Is there a rule on placing the text that way, or is that just interpretation? I think it would still be readable.
You mean when it was flipped and not reading right?
I think so.
Think of it as just it's like a taste thing, right? It's like it's your choice, I guess. I don't want to restrict and say that's wrong, but I guess it's also knowing your client too and going like, is that what will they think? You know,
yeah,
I can almost guess their answer right away.
Yep. I think that a lot of it too is whether it's information or it's just aesthetic, because we read right top to bottom, left to right. And so if we want it to be information, we need it to read as information. If we want it to just be texture, then it can be whatever which way. It's just an aesthetic that's going in there.
Exactly.
And they live in, Beck is checking in from Canterbury. Canterbury in South Island.
Whoa. Okay.
Right?
Wow. The South Island. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yep.
That's so beautiful. What a cool country.
Okay. And yes, looking down at the box, Wade, we're thinking about how they're experiencing it. And I think for the influencers, if they're taking a picture, we want people to know that it has like plant-based, enjoy, that they see those words and can read it when they're posting their Instagram.
Exactly. So I love what we've done with that. The other thing I did that we were on the call with the client that we all kind of thought was a great idea was they were thinking one panel should be the social media panel. And I was like, but then how do you ensure that they're going to see it? And it threw off the balance of the box because we're still wanting to have peanut butter all on one side and hazelnut on the other. So we found this nice solution by putting the social media tags, and then we gave them these hashtag kind of examples of what to do. So if you notice, they are on all four or all three bases here. So that it's on the very back here, it's on the sides, and it really is a nice kind of way that we can capture it. So anytime they take a picture of it, it's also there as well, hoping it'll drive someone else to see it and understand.
Absolutely. I
Um,
can't wait to just search YouTube in a couple weeks
yeah,
and like
I
find
know.
somebody doing an unboxing of this.
This will be great. This will be great. Yeah. So again, we did something as simple as this. We just put we knocked out a white just to make sure. Now, this is another thing to do too. If something ever is going to have to change in the, let's say they think their URL or their address or a UPC code is a perfect example. This doesn't get one because it's not for sale. But when you have information that's going to change on packaging, the best thing to do is make a white knockout like this, have it in 100% black. And you know why you do that?
I don't.
Okay, so the black plate would be the only one you have to change if it ever has to be reprinted or you have to do it like a do-over.
Oh,
If
smart.
you see, so if I had it here where it was just white and it's knocked out of all the four color, all of the screens, then that one change, just one letter, means all new film and all new plates for the printing. If you narrow it down to just the black and surround it by white and no other color, you only have to change one plate. And that has made clients days when they realize they freaked out. And I was like, well, we've got it on a white box for a reason.
Yep.
So
And
it's
again, you're saving money. You're just saving the money by
exactly.
doing that, thinking
So
ahead.
those little tricks, really kind of cool. Okay.
Yep. And Ritesh just checked in. Hello, Ritesh. We've seen you a couple times at
Yeah.
Office Hours. I believe that we've actually maybe reviewed your work on Office Hours. So,
Yeah.
welcome to this stream. You're getting a lot of us. And our
Perfect.
friend Aaron has a great question.
Go for it.
So lately, I've been rarely using www before a website. Have you seen that it's usually dropped as well, or do you usually have it there?
I've been seeing it without, yeah, for
I have too.
sure.
Yep.
And I think it makes it more friendly and more approachable. The www kind of makes it more technical and maybe feels very desktop publishing world, right? Like to
It
me,
does.
feels like 1990 when we're all like, hey, www dot, we've dropped it. And
Yep.
and as far as I know, it's not like a domain name, or it's not like a .com or .net that changes. So what do
Yep.
you
I
agree?
I cater it to the client. So I
Yeah.
have a couple. I have a couple that are in a demographic that maybe would miss out, that wouldn't understand that it is a
Yeah.
website, and so I
Yeah.
put the www before that. But otherwise, I try to drop it. And yes,
Great.
Ritesh, that's right. You got reviewed at Canceled Con. I
Ah, I remember
remember that
Ritesh.
was a great
Yeah,
portfolio. I believe that you were one of our top portfolios that we looked at.
I think
Um,
so.
I think so. So great
Yep.
job.
Where's he coming from again?
Ritesh, I believe that Ritesh is in Italy,
Oh, the Milan. Yes,
studying. I
Milan.
believe, yes. So
That's
I
right.
think that that's right.
Cool.
If that's not right, then I'm sorry. If it is, I think that I remember. We had a really fun time and it was super exciting. Uh,
Exactly.
that's the moment. So for those of you that don't know, I run a conference called Canceled Con. It's an online creative event, and we do portfolio reviews with students. It's a 2-day live stream when we do it with a whole bunch of different guests. And Nick was one of our reviewers, and we had a segment where we brought on a bunch of students and were on camera. And like the whole weekend, that was the moment that I almost cried because I was like, dude, this is so magical that we have students that are like literally on video with us across the world, getting super
Exactly.
excited about like getting reviews and just connecting the creative community all over. So
That's
uh,
so great.
you can check that out on YouTube. The entirety of the first two canceled cons are up on YouTube, just youtube.com/canceled con. There you go. Or the website that Wade just dropped, that is
That's cool.
also there.
That's really cool. It's a great community, man. So many people met each other there, and it's fantastic. You
Magic.
know, magic. I kept this artboard open too because I wanted to show you. Sometimes if I'm on a call with the client, and I've found so many different ways to take notes or do whatever, but sometimes if I actually have the file open, what I'll do is I will just make some notes off to the side, and I have a few of these boxes kind of in my library, so I can just drag them over. And as I might as well type right on the artboard any kind of call outs or changes that they wanted, because I can point to where it is, and it's not just notes on my notepad or something else. So some of the stuff we wanted to do on the inside here was this idea that now this is the inside of the box. So when all four of those are taken away, we wanted a hidden message underneath there. So the idea here was it was going to be, don't worry, you can always order more on Amazon. So basically, we're going to just kind of center some copy here. I have the Amazon logo in the library, and just going to grab it and drop it here. And that way, and it ends with their little smile. And that's kind of a nice little touch for inside there. Okay. So I know that's done. I could take this, boom. I'm like just checking off stuff, right?
Yep.
Because you want to
I
just be done.
I do the same
Ugh.
thing, except I drop them in giant like neon pink boxes because
Yes,
I
there
know
you
that
go.
I never use like a full on neon pink box, and so I'm like, cool. Anytime I see that, I know I have to go in and change it.
Exactly. So this is when you open the box, it's the flap that's looking kind of like right at you. It's the inside cover. It's probably the biggest one we have on the inside. So we want to give them a little greeting here that's going to say Schocolat is made with these, and we say no to palm oil. And then we're going to have spread the goodness with the logo and some social media. So again, this is all in our dark chocolate color. Okay. So I want to make sure it's selected as well. And what I'll do at the end of this is change it to a spot color of that PMS.
Cool.
So that way,
I was gonna ask if you're working in spot colors.
yeah, so the printer's not going to freak out that I'm giving him 4-color processing on the front, on the other side. And I've seen that happen too, where it went to print and they're like, well, it was given to us in 4-color processing. I'm like, why on earth would you just print that? And I was like, I know it was my mistake, but
Yep.
so anyways, we're going to get back to this. I'm going to use our funky little script font here called Houseorama, I believe it is.
That's
Yes,
such a fun
Houseorama,
name.
Houseorama League Night. How great is that? Like, it just has that like great little vibe.
Yes. That
I'll
for
zoom in
some
a little
reason
bit
that just
here.
reminds me of like being in a bowling league. And
Totally.
somehow in my brain, like immediately, I'm like, dude, post COVID, the first thing I want to do is go join a bowling league. And I'm like, I don't actually want to bowl. It just sounds like so much
Oh
fun
my
right now.
God. Be careful because they are like 36 weeks.
Yes, I know. And
Their
I
bowling
want
leagues are nuts.
I want a good documentary that is like
Yes.
the bowling league equivalent of like Tiger King. That like we get into like the rivalries and like all the like hot tea behind the scenes, but it's about like
Yes.
just a bowling league. That's what Netflix, call me. I'm ready.
That is great. That is so good. All right. So we are messing around with the fonts here and trying to figure it out. So this is going to be the top of the message here. So we're saying Chocolat is made with certain kind of cacao, the organic date syrup, and we proudly say no to palm oil. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this, cut it. I'm going to try something different. I think just to keep some variety, I'm going to do palm oil in, I should have copied, but I guess it didn't. I'm going to do it in this just because I don't want to give it too much emphasis. It's not a positive that, it's a positive that we don't have it. It's like saying, no sugar. So I want to kind of make sure that palm oil is maybe not so big here. So I'm just going to bring that down, take a look at everything else. It's looking good. The only thing we have to do now is the spread the goodness.
Spread that
Um,
goodness. Do you already
spread
have that
that
set that you can use it from the other side?
from the other side, not with this one yet, not with
Okay,
this, because I think I'm going to do something different. I have something
cool.
in mind, but we do need our logo.
And
So I'm
yes,
going to take
Emily,
this.
we are doing print process on one side and then one color spot on the inside, just to
Yes,
save some money.
perfect. So where did we go? Let's see. Did we copy that?
Save the
Copy
client
that.
some money.
Yeah, exactly. There we
Which
go.
sometimes, if you watch Office Hours and we give you advice on pricing and money, sometimes if you save the client money, you can actually bill that into your fees, because
Exactly.
hey, I'm saving you $5,000 on your packaging. I'm going to take an extra $3,000 as my design fee because I am going to save you that money. You can quote a little bit higher because it helps them
Yeah.
and their brain to say, hey, pay me this much and I almost guarantee that I'll be able to save you this much. And so a lot of church work that I do, I'll talk to them and be like, hey, here's the fee. It's a little high because I know that I can help you increase your giving, pad your budgets,
Exactly.
all that stuff is help to make that more streamlined to get people there. And that's what
Yeah.
really they pay for.
Yeah. So there we got that going. Okay. So we've got our inside at the bottom. That's like the little surprise message. We've got the overall message on the top that they really, really like and they want. And the only other thing we wanted to do was, so in the pricing, they wanted to actually number these because they're only doing 5,000 of them. But
Yes.
when I even gave them the little bit of the heads up that like, that's going to be a very pricey thing to do, even if it's a sticker or a label. And then I thought, what is the value of that? Like, are you really getting something out of that? Is an influencer going to say, wow, I've got, 499. Does that really make a difference? So we came up with this idea that this might just be the right copy to say, It's a limited edition box, and it is one out of 5,000. That way you can say, hey, it feels a little bit on the exclusive side, but it's not something that's going to kill the budget. So
Yep.
we're going to bring it back to our font. And I think just out of hierarchy, what's nice about Vance is it has a text font, which is just as nice.
Nice.
Really
And
cool.
yes, that just answered the question from Jason. The font is called Vance that we are using.
Yes. There we go. Perfect. So all we need is that. We can bring this a little bit bigger. Now we'll have a nice line break right where we want to. And I know I have some of that stuff in the way there, but I can tell that the lighting needs to be a little bit there. Perfect.
Yep. And
So
it's funny,
yeah.
you put that in there and you're like, yeah, so it's a limited edition of 5,000. And my like whole body was like data merge.
Yeah.
Like I was so ready to just start data merging things.
Cool. So I wonder if now we have some extras here. So I went back here and I was looking. This is even though these are tuck flaps, it's still very visible, right? We can put something else there. And I thought if now that the viewers have kind of got an idea of the messaging and the core branding and who we are, is there any other saying, anything fun that could be, maybe part of this story that we can add to it? Maybe enlist our chat to see if anybody's got some cool recommendations of what we can kind of put there as some fun type.
Yeah, chat.
Could
Let
be
us
kind of
know.
cool.
Let us know if
Yeah.
you have any suggestions.
So
So where is this
go
going
ahead.
one more time? I'll start racking my
Oh,
brain too.
yeah. So you've got, that's where they're going to open and take it open. But when these flaps are exposed, they're very much there. They're visible. They're not super important, but we can have a little fun there. And we can say, you're just one bite away from plant-based goodness or something like that.
Cool. I'll think about
Love to
it.
see what
And
people
chat, let us know if
want
you
to
have any
say.
suggestions for
Yeah.
those little side folds.
Yep. And we have on the flip side here too, we can actually do some fun stuff as well. And how are we
Sweet.
doing on time? Because
We're doing great on time,
good.
Nick. We have about 45 minutes until our daily creative challenge review, so we've got plenty of time. And I actually just got a very important message that I'm going to pass along to our audience because a lot of you are students or you have just graduated. Adobe Portfolio has just launched its 2020 graduate offer, and Portfolio is now free for 1 year for all 2020 graduates. So check that out. There is a tweet on Adobe Portfolio that has more information about that. Wade, if you want to grab it, it's just at Adobe Portfolio on Twitter. And that's a super exciting. Adobe Portfolio is an amazing resource. I was just judging some entries for a competition, and a couple of the portfolios were on Portfolio, and it is amazing, super helpful, super easy. So that's a little announcement for all of you.
Wow, very nice. So with 45 minutes, let's see. Because we're going to build this in Dimension, and then we're going to mess around with it and show it to you in
an Aero.
Aero.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Aero. So cool. So I've been using it to show clients when the project is only in comp form and it hasn't even been made into even a sample at this point. You can put it in any environment. You could take it to a store, put it on shelves next to the competitor. It's like you might get kicked out of the grocery store, but maybe ask the manager first. But I've done that with tons of different projects, and it's really something else. A really good game changer, and you don't need to know anything about 3D, and you'll see how easy it is when we get there. So if we did we get any good comments, or we could start building some of these panels and get them ready in libraries?
Someone said dip inside this delicious box.
I love it.
I think it could be fun to do like on one side, and I don't know how much you can actually use this copy, but it'd be funny that on one side it says like when I dip you dip, and then the other side it says we dip, like that. It like goes all the way around. But yeah, spread. I think someone said lay it on thick, which I think was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Feast on the best.
I like this idea. So it's basically like when I say dip, you say dip. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah. What's the actual? There's like it's a lyric from a song.
Yes.
That it's when I dip. Hold on. This is my job. Here I am to help you. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Let me make sure that this is right. Dip is a song. When I dip, yeah. So I dip, you dip, we dip are the three.
Ooh.
I dip, you dip, we dip.
Oh, okay. So maybe, okay. First one again was?
I dip. And then you dip, that was my dip. uh, then you dip,
And then this one could
and
be
then
dip here.
together we dip.
So wouldn't it be great if inside it said together we dip?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that one is I dip, and that one's you dip, and then inside it
Yes.
says we dip.
Yes. Or we all
That's
dip.
really
Yeah,
fun.
exactly. So there we go. So we can mess these up, get these a little bit bigger, play around with them. Could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think
These are
that's
like
really
those
fun.
little hidden messages.
Yep.
So I dip, you dip, and then when they open it up, we can put we all dip.
Yep. Yes. Okay, cool. So do we want to chat? Do we want to hop over into Dimension and Aero, or do we want to
Yeah.
do the inside of the box? What worst stance ever. Let us know what you want to do. I very selfishly want to get into Dimension and
Let's do
Aero because
it.
I don't know anything about it.
Let's do it. I think because
So
I gotta go a little slow with it.
yep.
Just
So yeah,
because
chat. Let
I
us know
want to.
your
Yeah.
opinions, but know that we've already decided on behalf of you.
Great. All right. Perfect. I love it.
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna open it up, and it is. I'm assuming it's visual, right? We are seeing Dimension.
Yes, it is
Cool.
100% working.
And we'll start from scratch because I've already tested it out a few times just to see how it looks, but we are going to create a new one. And I love this because it has the familiarity of everything we already do.
Oh my
right?
gosh. Have you seen the open have you seen Tron
Oh, totally.
Legacy?
This is
Okay, so
it.
this is the opening and I feel like I just got plugged in. I've never opened Dimension, never used it, and like I feel like I just got plugged in and I'm like the freeways are
Yes.
circuit boards. Like the
I
whole
love
thing.
it. Right?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. So golden rule for me, and I've realized this in the past, is start with a bigger, especially if your computer can handle it, start with a bigger canvas, because a lot of times I was doing things and exporting it and realizing it wasn't coming in at the ultimate resolution. So just like any other application, when you open it, the first thing you want to do is go to your canvas size here. And you can see we're at about 1,000 by 700 pixels at 300 DPI. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go like 2,500 by 1,200.
Oh,
Make it a little bit more of a rectangle. And you can see there's my artboard. And it gives you a pretty nice little grid, right?
Yes.
Watch how easy this is. This is
I'm
just
so
crazy.
excited. I'm literally like a little kid at Christmas and I'm like peeling back the paper. Yes.
So libraries will give you what you have put in there. I made a Schocolat one here. You can see we haven't populated with anything other than the Amazon logo and my incredible sketch. We will do that in a second.
Gorgeous.
But I'll go back to starter assets. This is everything that you get free. And it keeps building and building and building. And I think Paul Tranny did a fantastic one on the text. You can do all three-dimensional text now based on all your fonts. Anything you have loaded, it will work. It's pretty incredible. We will start very simple. Here are the models that they give you. We have a cube box right here. Watch this.
Yes,
Are you watching?
I'm grabbing a paper. Okay.
Watch this.
I'm ready.
You drag it over and boom. You have your little box here. You can move it around.
Right.
There's your little box. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Look at that. And it's even folded. This one has all that stuff. But the one thing it isn't is the size of our box. And when you have that dimension, I already converted my stuff to centimeters. It's 68 by 38 by 72. So literally with this selected, you go right here and I'm just going to custom
just type in your dimensions. You don't have to like drag and like do anything.
Nope. Watch this. Boom. Look at that. Is this just like incredible? Now take the little aerial tool here and you can move it around. This is 3D for dummies.
Oh my gosh. I'm ascending to the astral plane. Yes. Please keep going.
Cool. Now, with this, you have those models, but now you have textures, you have surface, everything else. This has a gritty pattern. This will show through. You can see the grain on that paper.
Yep.
So all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the matte finish over to this. And you see what it does? It gets rid of the texture.
Could you make it gold?
You could do.
Like, what if it was a gold box? Show me. Yes.
Here, brass. Wait, here we go. Brass. You can do whatever you want.
Yes. Okay.
Look,
sorry.
Okay. Look at the reflection.
It does the lighting. Oh!
Okay. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh gosh. Okay.
We don't want to freak our client out. We're going to go back to the matte.
Yep. Got it.
But the matte, it's also editable. Notice right here, you got that gray color. If I click on it, I just want to make it just shy of white. Okay. This might not look white, but now look at it. It's all in the gradient and everything else. So
that sounds like a house paint color, shy of white.
Shy of white.
Yeah, that it's
Ooh,
like, oh, I don't want white walls. I want like a shy
yes.
of white.
So my second job I would love to do after cooking show is
Is house painting?
getting to be the guy who comes up with all the names for the paint colors.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. And
Go to
yes,
a
Keith,
warehouse store. It's
Keith,
crazy.
this will be the stream that you'll see in like an Adobe. So like there's one from the past that's like an Adobe ad for Adobe Live that I'm just
Yes.
like, wow, this is I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
You will see moments from this stream in another one
Love
of the
it.
commercials of me just going
Yeah.
like it's gonna happen. Okay,
So
keep going.
what I'm going to do right now is we're going to start with the top panel. So as you can see, I'm looking at it here. I'm just going to drag it down to I can see it here on the front like that. Okay. With that done, let's go back to Illustrator. Is it all working good? Are we getting this?
Yes,
Okay,
we are flipping back and forth. We're
great.
looking good.
So keep in mind on my layers file, I have a template that is all locked. Okay. Only my art is active. So that's all I need right now. Right. All of these templates and dash marks and everything are locked. So I won't grab them. So if I take a quick square and just drag it here on my top panel, there might be other ways to do this. I'm doing this really quick to show you guys how fast and simple it is. I'm just going to do a quick select all and mask. And what that's done is it's given me just that. When this is selected, you can right click and say add to the library. That's the quickest way to do it.
Oh, you can add to libraries that way?
Yes, because when you drag it over, if you have a very complicated thing with a lot of texture and stuff, to me, I have found this is just the best way. And watch this. It will show up right in here. Boom. Artwork number one, double click it, top.
Yep. That's funny
Okay.
that you grabbed that and you put it in there, and
Yes.
we all felt your bandwidth. It literally like you paused out for a second because it's like, cool, the Creative Cloud is like working right now.
First thing I do is just undo that, just because it's like I have my mask. I'm going to use that again,
Yep.
but I don't want to leave this with that. Okay, now here comes the magic. We go back to Dimension. Now you take your starter assets and you go back to your libraries. Okay, and look what's waiting for you. You
It's
literally
here.
just drag it right over. Give it a little second.
She's
Out.
alive.
You can see
Yes.
obviously it hasn't read perfectly, but I'm just going to take it here, get it to there. Okay. Now with your arrow, you click on this and you can just basically, you can shift and get it to right to the edges. Sometimes you can see it might need a little distortion, so I can take it this way.
Yep.
Shift, do it. And all I'm trying to do is make sure I'm covering all of the bases. Looks like I can come in a little bit. And the best thing to do is kind of move it around just to see how you did. Look at that.
Oh, so
Is that
cool.
not incredible?
Okay. Oh
Okay.
my goodness. Dimension's my new favorite thing.
So
I haven't even opened it and it's already my new favorite
yeah,
thing.
You double click and you can see, now I can move it around. I can see that I'm within the mask area that it's given me, and we're good to go, right?
And the great thing about using Creative Cloud libraries is now when we go back, if we need to change it, we can pull it out of the library, edit it, and it will update everywhere that has been placed, including Dimension.
Yes, exactly. Such a great tool. Let's move him. Let's see. So you got a lot of different things here where you can take it now and kind of move it anywhere you want on the plane. That's fine. All right, so let's build the rest of it. I'm going to go back to Illustrator.
Let's do it.
I'm going to take that same mask here, just mess around with it. Now I'm just going to put it into this space for him, the front. Okay. Select all. Do a quick 7, Command 7. And, oh, it's because I don't have it selected.
Right click.
Right clicked, add to library. Look at that.
I literally feel like, okay, I feel like a kid that is watching his favorite cartoon that, like, now that I know what's coming up next, I'm like, right click, add to library. And then you do it, I'm like,
exactly. All right, we're dragging him over. And look, so it might catch some of the skewing you did on the last one because it's on the same model. And all I'm going to do is kind of like get this to where I think that looks about right. Slide it around.
Yep. It's so much like
What
a
do we
free
get there?
transform in Photoshop, except it's actually mapping it to the shape for you. I got to do a lot of comps for like a building space and putting up like
Yes.
barrier walls, and it took forever in Photoshop to get the barrier walls at the right perspective and the distort it. That if Dimension, I don't think Dimension was as pro as like big as it was when
Yeah,
I was
they've
doing
been,
that, and
yeah.
it would have saved so much time.
And look at that, even like with the, you can like really make sure in little things like this that your lineup of that halfway point is right on there. Boom, look at that. So now I know that seam looks perfect when it comes over there like that.
Oh my gosh. And for those of
Isn't
you
that
that are working on
incredible?
portfolios, this is what we talk about every Friday is we talk, and I swear we've said it every Friday. You need to show your work in context. This is the way to put it in context.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly. So let's see. Now I want this guy. So we're going to get our sides. And again, all, I don't need to worry. There are other pretty advanced features that you can obviously do and show them these boxes open and do whatever. All my client wants to see is how this is going to look, when it's all said and done. So I'm
Yep.
going to grab that all here, do
And
a
yes,
command
DN stands for
7.
dimension, Andy Peter. Absolutely.
Yes. Add to our library,
This
do
is
a
great.
command Z to get rid of that.
There we
Come
go.
back here. I believe
it's
this is
it's so
I did the
funny
peanut butter side, right?
every time you add it to your library, your audio's like and then it comes back.
Does it really?
It does. It's like you're like revving the engine of your computer.
Oh, that's great. Now, here's a great little thing. You got an anchor to turn it. So you just turn it, hold the shift key down. I
Nice.
can tell I've obviously got to get this a little bit taller than it is, right about there. And you can see how it just kind of naturally, if your colors are all the same, it's really just, it's amazing how seamless this is.
Yep.
So we are way too much this way.
It's
We need to
amazing.
go a little bit more this way.
I need to work on some face masks for a client that I am pitching on Monday. And so I'm going to
Perfect,
find a
dude.
great face mask model. I'm going to mock it up in Dimension tonight and see if I can show that off a little bit.
Isn't that great? I love that.
That's if
So
you want to
again,
watch me completely destroy my life trying to figure out Dimension with absolutely no context, join me tonight on my
yeah,
stream just here on Behance, and you can follow
yeah,
Nick on Behance as well, hanging
perfect.
out.
It's a good point to mention that. I think this is the first chance you can see that maybe we can work on letting, we can work on these little spots here. Like once you see it kind of live, I think sometimes I'm realizing like, ooh, maybe this is too big, right? And
Yep.
it looked great on the die line, but again, like we said yesterday, when you build your little mock-ups and your samples, you can obviously see any flaws and things that you want to change to your complete design. All right. So we got our backside here. We'll grab this one. That would be this guy right here. So I'm just going to take my mask.
And Richard, yes, we're using Dimension right now to make the 3D mockups. But if you're asking about
Oh
the
yeah, any
shots
questions? Go for
of
it.
the actual like hazelnuts and those are hazelnuts, sorry, right?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
and peanuts.
And
Yes.
peanuts. Both of those are actually vectors. We talked about that yesterday. It's a totally
Yeah.
insane. They're gradient meshes and all that stuff. Um,
They
yes.
were converted to. Oh well, look at that. Yikes! That looks very
Oh
Stranger Things-ish.
yes. That
Um,
right there is my aesthetic. That's my design aesthetic.
totally.
Is like black and white, slam some type on it, get totally
Oh, that
crazy.
was great. That
Yep.
was great. All right, so we're gonna grab this here. But yeah, like we mentioned yesterday, that was originally done in Illustrator, and then once it was all said and done and approved by the client, we just turned it into PSDs to make sure there was going to be no problems with it printing. So I'm gonna do this. Let's get this guy all kind of set up and going, and then we can work on a cool little background. Anything we want to do.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. How do we put it? How do we put it? How do we
Yeah,
put on things?
look
Oh,
at
I'm
that.
so
Look at that.
excited.
Okay, so we've pretty much made. Look at that. Oh, we forgot the hazelnut side.
Oh, I forgot the hazelnuts.
Z, get this guy, turn him around.
This is so fun, and like it just opens up possibilities for me to make like all the dumbest
Oh,
ideas that I've had a reality, which is
yes.
what I want.
I got to tell you, one thing I have done, and I think, I've talked about this, and I'm rebuilding all the assets of my case studies because a lot of them were based off of photography. And sometimes I couldn't either afford to grab someone to do it or I did it myself and it was just pretty shoddy. I'm recreating almost everything in Dimension right now. And it is a world of, it's a night and day difference because you can make these real dramatic angles and you can turn it. And what's neat about it too, and I'll show you, you can save all your camera angles of this box. So
Oh,
if
that's
you need to go
awesome.
back to that, it's like someone tore down a photo shoot and you can go right back in one click and put it right back together, which
Yes,
is
I'm
great.
gonna completely redo my entire portfolio. You know what? I'm gonna
Isn't that?
reconstruct the entirety of my life in Dimension. That's what's about to happen. Uh, so,
It's literally like Sims, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So someone said one of the best features of Dimension is the
Yes.
ability to match lighting and perspective of a background image. It's quite amazing. I'm
Exactly.
excited to see that.
I will show you some previous examples of where that has just rocked my world. It's pretty incredible what they've done with it. So let's grab that.
And
Get this guy
Carol,
up
you say
here.
that you've done some iguana products. Is that in a program called Iguana? Is that
Yeah, I
like a
know.
term called
Tell us
Iguana?
more.
Or is there like actual products for iguanas? Because that sounds great.
We need to know. All right, there we go. So it takes a little finessing, even though we matched those dimensions. We got a good starting point, and at least I know the box is the right thing, and I'm just gonna finagle those all the graphics and everything to work. So
Yep.
there we got everything to go.
This is the
Um,
equivalent of, if you've seen those videos of like the professional skateboarders like driving by the kids that are doing things and they're just like, do a
yes,
kickflip. That's me right now with putting it on a background. I'm like, put it on a
exactly.
background.
All right, so we click this. We've got color. We can do anything we want, which is kind of cool. Real quick, like just even having a different color sometimes, even as you're just working, is kind of cool to mess around with. But we want to bring an image in, and I believe I have a pretty cool little image that we have in desktop.
Wait,
Let's
hold
see.
on. Are you just putting like an
Yo,
image in, or is it going to put like a
yes,
3D, like it's literally just an image?
it's just an image. It's that.
I hath deceased. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Okay.
Boom. Look at that. So you can see it has totally different angles and things. The way you could either take this and mess around with bringing it a little bit more in the foreground. But what you can do is with this selected, you go to background. I'm sorry. Here, match image. So when you do this,
I'm not
what it's
ready.
what it's going to do is it's going to match both the image and it's going to find the vanishing points and everything of the background. Are you good?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm preparing myself to just,
Let's see what
yes.
happens. I haven't used this in a while, so I'm just gonna see. There we go. So look at the shadowing, everything else it's done. I could do like this little quick render, which is kind of neat. You can see what it's doing. And it kind of just helps kind of give you a little idea of, is the lighting right? Are we
Yep.
cool with this? Okay. Click that off if you want to.
Oh
Now we're
my
back to
gosh.
this. Isn't that just amazing, right?
Yes.
So there's other things that what's really kind of cool too is you go back to your starter assets and you do have some really cool little backgrounds here. You can just drag them in just like this. Okay. I can maybe this one, that's maybe too much of a color match. Let's see. Too much of a color match.
This is crazy, Nick.
Isn't this great, dude?
So
I
like
mean, it's
what's
just
great
like
is you could literally take like, ooh, a high-end table that would look like it was in a influencer's
exactly.
apartment and just drop it on
Yep.
the table to
Mm-hmm.
show, hey, this is what
Yeah.
it's going to look like.
Yep. And they've even got like, I can take, now they have this table, which is kind of cool. This is like a very well-known one, but you can see we're a little bit messed up. So if I do match image here, let's see what happens.
Do it. Push the button.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So it's figuring it out. So we're a little bit off. I would say it could be a little bit more like, maybe more like that kind of, you know?
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yes, pretty cool. Oh, this table looks better. This has a little more of a foreground. So there we go. We're at our
Oh
local
my gosh.
Starbucks
That's
and we
it.
have our, right? And then you got all these, if the lighting is not working or it's not matching the picture too well, you can play around with all these different ones here. So you have like studio wood background here, you name it. You can see how it changes per one. Let's go with studio light, got really bright. So again, there's all these different ways you can kind of mess around with it and see how it looks.
This
Okay.
is amazing.
Isn't this great? So again, I'm going to go back to, let's trash that guy. Oh, that's the lighting. Oops, sorry. Here, go to background. And keep in mind, you have, these are kind of your layers. You can go directly right into some of these things and turn some, if that got a little too bright, I can turn these off. See what I mean?
Yes.
Go to your camera, can go to your cube box alone, just that. So you do have like what are considered layers, which is really, really cool. Okay. So that's kind of how you can mess around with it. And this is like, I can even float it up above. So you can
Ooh,
do
a
these
floaty
like, you know where
box.
they do these? I can turn it this way,
Oh, yep. And then it has like the
the
product
drop
like
shadow.
enveloping it, and
Yes.
yes.
So see, like even doing something like this is kind of nice too, which I really like. This is kind of cool. If I take this again, I think this little thing here brings you back to the ground, which is really nice.
Oh,
See
I
what that
need that.
did?
I need that right now. I need that in my
Isn't that
life right
cool?
now. Can you send me that button so that I can just like
Yeah.
press it for the
Yeah, I
entirety
know.
of my life?
It's like you need that and undo,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
And how are we doing on
We
our
got about 20
timing?
minutes left. So if we
Oh,
want to
perfect.
get into
Okay.
Aero, that would be
Yeah.
super fun. So Aero
Cool.
is a program. It's on mobile, and we basically are going to take what we have in Dimension and put it into the
Yes.
real world, use augmented reality, and get crazy. And
There we go.
Ritesh, when you're bringing something into Dimension, do the colors change based on CMYK and RGB? Um,
Ooh, good
that
question.
is a good
I
question.
I think it is. It might have to be. It's still considered, I believe, RGB.
I would say
So
it
it might.
probably converts it to RBG
Yeah.
when it brings it into Dimension,
Yes.
or else it's gonna make it a little more powdery with the CMYK. But I
Yes.
don't know why it would do that in Dimension, because you
Yeah.
aren't like exporting it for actual printing. It's just rendering. So I'm guessing that it's augmenting it into RGB.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's get this guy a little bit more situated before we bring him in. There we go.
Ooh,
Pretty neat there, huh?
I
So
am
here we go.
100% just gonna make tiny things and then use the perspective of my hands and be like, "Here it is, client." And then it's just going to be like 3D mapped to my hands. That's going to be my new presentation
This
style.
is great. This is great. All right. So when we have something here, again, so we explored, you've got lighting, you've got all your backgrounds. They give you these starter assets, which is really great to use. You've got all your material choices, which is great. If you want, let's see, I'm going to, trying to think if there's something else to show you here before we go into Aero, because Aero will take about 10 minutes.
Cool.
Oh, they do have like great little things like this. If you're doing anything with beverages or cans or something like this,
Do they have
you can bring in
splashies?
these. Yes, you can bring in these little water features, which is so amazing. So you just go to the scale tool and watch this.
Splash, splash, splash.
Isn't that great? And
Oh my
then
gosh.
you move it where you need to in the canvas. And you can see what it does is it totally evolves around the splash or
Yep.
the box that you're doing. So watch this. Is that not just like the greatest thing?
Oh
So let's
my
say,
gosh.
I believe they have in the materials, let's see, where was it? This is great. They have olive oil and they have beer. Those are the only two. Oh, and water.
Oh my
So
gosh.
let's add it some. So you just drag the beer right to it, and there you go.
Oh my gosh. That's great. I have a client that I did honey packaging for that I can
They're
totally use that
perfect.
to do like a honey splash.
Yeah. See, isn't this great? And there's other ones you can purchase and add. They're all in Adobe stock. You can grab great stuff like that. This one's great. You got gelatin. I think that looks a little scary. Frosted glass. You can mess around with these, which is great.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
what a great little add-on to these things. I think these little things are so great. If you have 3D models, they're dot o what is it dot it's an object file and it's a 3D file. You can import it into here. You can get them from other resources too. They will work in Dimension, which is great. I had to find like a half cut lime to put next to like a beer can. Found it, placed it right in there, rendered it. You thought it was a photo studio. It's unreal. It's
Oh my
unreal.
gosh. I'm gonna need to take
Okay.
a nap after this stream. I'm so overwhelmed with excitement.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Everything works together pretty well. We
Yep.
showed you how Creative Cloud grabs it from the library and everything is great.
Yep.
So
And while you
I'm
get set
going
up in
to,
Aero,
yeah,
I'm gonna
go
go
ahead.
ahead and flip back over. And
I
Nick's
got
gonna
to
be
do
doing
one thing
magic.
here
Oh, that's
first and then
normal.
flip.
Okay,
I got to
got
do
it.
one thing in Dimension and then you can flip over and I can
Go for it.
get the thing right. So you grab basically your box, whatever model, that's all said and done. Doesn't matter what angle it's at or anything like that. You're going to go to File and you're going to go to Export. And how safe could this be? You want to go to Export for Aero. And why is it not there? It just worked for me earlier. Let's see. Grab that. Oops.
Yes,
Try it
Wade
again.
Acuff says .obj. Wade, do you do a lot of 3D stuff? I know that that's like kind of
There
what
it
you
is.
do. Wade likes to paint. He's a great digital painter, but I think he does 3D stuff as well.
Nice. So right here, export for Aero. Just
Cool.
perfect, right? So here it's basically building that to just what it needs to be. It's exporting it in there. You hit that. And I think since my zoom is in the way, I'll call this box 2. Perfect. It's saving it. It's in the cloud. And if you want,
Yes.
I can stop here and then I'll bring over the next one.
Cool. Let me hop over.
Okay.
While you do that, I'm going to show you a little bit of Nick's website and talk about some ways for you to get involved. The biggest one and the best one is to join us again tomorrow at, I believe, 1 p.m. We will be hanging out doing office hours. It is a show that we do every single week. And Nick and I are here to give you feedback, give you thoughts on your portfolios, as well as tips and tricks to level up your general creativity. Your workflow, whether you're a copywriter, a product designer, UI, UX, whatever you are, we'll be helping you to upgrade that. Tomorrow we're talking about workflows and process. I'll be unpacking a little bit of how my creative process works. I always examine the past, consider the present, and create the future. That's kind of my process. So I'll walk you through how that works and how it streamlines my workflow. And then Nick will also be doing the same, walking through his kind of creative process a little bit as well. He just found that out right now as I said it. That's what we're doing tomorrow, Nick.
So I have homework.
You have homework. I'll send you the slide deck tonight. All right, so join us tomorrow for that. You also can check out Nick's website at longodesigns.com and find him on Instagram at longodesigns. Are you ready to hop into Aero?
Yeah, let's
All
do
right,
it.
we're
All
gonna try
right.
this. We've never done this before, but we'll give it a shot. We are
There's a
now,
first for everything.
yes, in Nick's
This is
phone.
Aero.
Yeah, we're
Here
in
we
Nick's
go.
phone.
You can see it right there.
We literally
Perfect.
just did the Mike TV thing where it was in a million tiny pieces above our head, and now we're
Exactly.
like smaller. Like that's what just happened.
Exactly.
I love it. All right.
Oh, so let me cancel this because I want to show. If you, I think we told people yesterday, if you are, let's see, did it refresh yet?
Yes.
I'm still seeing, let's
It's a
see.
surface found. Tap to
Oh,
create
there we go.
surface. There we go.
Okay. So if you've loaded up Aero, I think I mentioned it to you yesterday. This is your welcome screen. This is what you have. If you should be signed in with your Adobe ID through these things, which is the whole point of using it because you want to grab a lot of those assets. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the plus sign. And what it's going to first do is it's going to look at the surface I am at and tell me if this is working on your end yet. I don't see it coming through on the screen.
It is not. It's probably
Oh,
lagging
there we
just a
go.
little bit. There we go.
Okay.
Yes, it's definitely having a little bit of a lag, but we'll get there so we
There
can
we
see it.
go. Okay. So I'm just placing it right on my desk.
Yep.
Is
And
that
can you
working?
turn the phone into landscape and see if it will reformat?
Ooh, great idea.
Let's see what happens. Tis not. All right, that's fine.
It
Let's
only
do it
stays
vertical.
that way. There we
Let's do
go.
it
Okay,
vertical.
cool. So I'll wait till it goes back. Oh, there we go.
Shoop.
We're just a second or two behind. So once it's found, see all those dots? It's found
Yes.
the perspective of my desk. So I just hit that pin, and now it's locked in that.
The grid.
The grid. Now I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to my Creative Cloud, and let's see, box 2. Let's hope
And
this is it.
while you're putting that in, sorry, it's lagging just a little bit. You're hitting the plus to add in
Yes.
something from your Creative Cloud.
Yep.
Cool.
Tell me when it worked.
There we go. It is now on the desk.
Now I can just pinch and zoom. I can push it. Let's see, right about there. I tap it, and now watch this. There we go.
It's a tiny little box.
Is it? And I'm trying to move it around to see, like, you can go, look at this. Has it gone around to the back yet? Let's see.
It's a little jumpy, but it's going. There we go. Yep. It is moving. So it literally keeps it and goes all the way around. The only reference I have for this is playing Pokemon Go.
It's exactly right.
So it's so great to like be able to do that with my own products. That's insane.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go back and show, let's see. Tell me when it gets back to the blank screen,
Yes.
the home screen. There we go. Woo, that was lagging. Okay. So I'm going to start fresh again. And let's see if it works here. And I'll
Sure, Timo, what magic is this? We are in Adobe Aero,
this is
and
all, you guys all have this. It's
yep,
all free.
you all
I
have it. It's
mean,
all included in Creative Cloud. We have
okay,
used our Creative Cloud libraries. We went through Dimension to build a 3D model, and now we're in Aero through our Creative
exactly.
Cloud library, placing it
Yep.
into augmented reality.
Shout out to some Cliff Notes over here.
Yes.
Always under the Mac. Okay, so I'm gonna pin that. And this is a version of what the 3D text could be. So this was something I had done. I took Illustrator art, extruded it 3D in Illustrator, and then you import it into Dimension as an object. And then what you get is, I gave it like a wood tone. And tell me when you
Oh,
get.
that's awesome. So you're doing the 3D effects on the type in Illustrator, right?
Yes, there we
Cool.
go.
So you can do that. And again, if you guys check in the week of August 31st, I'll be doing daily creative challenges again, and we'll be doing 3D type.
There we
So
go.
I'll teach you how to do that in Illustrator. This is insane.
Isn't that great? So you literally can zoom all the way into it. I know it's lagging a little bit, and I'll zoom in just a bit so you can see. So I took this. This was the name of a variety of the beer for a client of mine. So we arranged the beer on the patio with the sun coming perfect, and I zoomed out of it. And as you zoomed out, the Point Doom logo for it was right there.
Yes.
And it's just such a great, like, little extra thing that we have now to mess around with.
Yep.
And that is it.
Aaron asks, you can, oh, it's literally just my face. All right, hold on. Let me go back over here.
Do I need to go back to share screen?
Yeah, if you want to screen share again.
Okay.
So Aaron asks, you can only show this on your own space and your phone. You can't share this to the public. I believe that you can send a public link or share it in a Creative Cloud folder,
you
right?
can. So what you do here is, let's say I'm cool with this. I go to the share here, and you will go publish 3D scene here. And for this, I'll call it, like, let's say, just call it box view 1, right? And then you create a public link. And we'll see how this works in a second. This is great. Now this, it even works on a phone. You can, whoever gets this link,
yep,
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a XD. I built a site in XD, and I was able to send it to the client. They don't have Creative Cloud. I'm just like, here's the link, check it out, and they can interact with it. It's like prototyping.
So here's what I'll do. There we go. I'm gonna bring it here. And then if I drag this over to this desktop, I think you should be able to see it. Let me wait till it loads up. There we go. Cool.
There we go. Yep. So there it is.
And this is what a client gets. This is right through the web browser.
Yep. And they can click and drag any 3Ds, zoom in, zoom out, check it out. You can put it in your actual scene. And you can do, even like, if we had the splashes in there, you could be like, cool, look at how cool it is, the splashes in 3D.
Yes. And that's not a render. Like, what's great about it is it's the rendering is when you really need it to just have, the 300 DPI full on, multi-megabyte file for use. But you just saw how fast that was. I can literally do this, send the link to a client, even if they're on the road. They click the link in an email, and it opens up Safari or whatever they have on their phone, and they're viewing it live 3D.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is it. So
they can't put it on their desk though. I do believe.
Oh, with Aero?
Yeah, I think that if they had Aero, they probably could. Is Aero just free to everyone? ?
Good question.
That's a good question. Wade, if you can let us know, or if any of the Adobe Live like mods are in there, I can actually, you know what? This is my job. I should do this. I'll find out for you if Aero is including Creative Cloud or if it's free to everyone. I believe that Fresco at one point was open and free to everyone. Let's do this. All right. So we're going to hop over here in about 5 minutes to our daily creative challenges. Nick, can we put it in another background scene and see what it looks like? Maybe an influencery kind of thing.
Ooh, I think we have one right here.
Influenceries.
That's way too influency. You know how you always do this. So I'm going to do like a quick render and just
Adobe Aero is free to download from the Apple App Store.
So here's a great thing. Yes. But can anyone use it? I'm assuming you have to have some connection to Creative Cloud, I believe. to get those assets? I'm not
Maybe.
sure. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
definitely
Here's
download it, and then we'll have some answers for you tomorrow in
yeah.
office hours. Yes, it's free
Here's a
on
really
iPhones and
cool
tablets. Wade confirms. There we go.
here's here's a really cool feature is when you are rendering it, you can go obviously low, medium, high. I'm going to just do medium fast. And then if you do PSD, you will actually get it in layers and you can
Shoot.
mess with lighting even more. So I'm just going to
Shoot.
do the PNG and we'll see how this thing rolls. I can hear the fans
I was gonna say,
already.
I love how many cursors you now have right here.
Oh
Like
no,
there's
really? It's
there's a
yeah.
line of 5 cursors, and I'm sure it's like trying to sync to the Creative Cloud, and your video is just gonna like it's
I
gonna
bet it's
happen.
just more. It's probably more the Zoom sharing that's probably
Yes.
what's lagging a
Oh,
little bit here.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. But you can see it's going to start building it. It's going to start the shading and the highlights. You don't think you have a lot until you render it, and you kind of go, "Whoa!" Like this is pretty remarkable.
Yep.
It's really some good stuff.
Full
Yeah,
3D render. Oh, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. Instead of having
yeah.
one cursor, you have a stack of about 20 cursors, and as you move it, the entire thing moves. It's like one of those like fireball things in Mario that like
Oh,
swoops
nice.
to
There you
kill
go.
you. That's awesome. Does this only work on
Oh,
Mac devices?
whoa.
What about Windows and Android? Yeah, no, we're on Windows. I'm on Windows, and
Yes.
it works here, works on Mac, works on mobile. Aero works on mobile, so 100%. If you have iPad, Photoshop is now on iPad. There's a whole bunch
Yes.
of more coming to iPad eventually. Um,
I wonder if the question was more. The Creative Cloud is obviously available on Windows. Is Dimension on there?
oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
assuming.
100%.
How,
Yep.
how clean is it? Is that coming out pretty clean now? Can
Oh,
you
it's
guys
coming
see
out
the? Look at
pretty
that.
clean.
Look at that. And it's not even. It's literally you can see the progress bar. This is how much more it's going to fine
Man,
tune.
it
No
looks,
grain,
yeah, it
no
looks like a
grit.
professional photo, like in a
Isn't that
studio.
crazy? Look at the folds, everything about it. I mean, and you saw we didn't finesse. All we had to do was finesse to make sure it's literally a mask. And when you bring in the asset, you move it around and you just want to make sure it covers all four sides. And look at that. I mean, isn't it funny that color didn't really look that good when I brought it over,
Yep.
but now it's like with the shading,
This is
it's all lighting,
so
dude.
great. I did a design for a set of growlers for a casino
Yeah.
brewery in Vegas, and they're getting released for the next 4 months. But I'm not going to be able to get out there to get copies of them, and I want to like post about it. And so now I can
Yeah.
totally just come into Dimension and be like, cool, let's find a good growler. Let's put
Yep.
my art on there. It's one color. It will look totally amazing, and then I can set it up in a set of 4 to show all the
Yes.
designs and be like, cool, there it is.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Look at that. We're like not even halfway. It's still got that much more to go, and that's how clean it looks.
It's gonna explode.
Isn't that
Um,
remarkable?
that's amazing. That's
I,
totally
I
amazing.
want you
So
to even notice that our pattern went over it did one of these. Our
it did one of
pattern went
these.
right over, and you can see it. Look at that. You can
We
see
did
it
it.
inside there.
Oh,
And
that's
there's that
awesome.
shadow it casts from the lid. Just perfect. Yeah.
Yes. All
There
right,
we
cool.
go.
So let's hop over to our daily creative challenge reviews, and then let's come back to this once it's done. And so
Yeah.
we're gonna hop on over there, and that way we can at least get some by rendering time.
You want
Let's
me to
hop.
keep the share on?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I took over, and so it's just my
Okay.
Discord. So yeah, leave the share on.
Oh,
We can come
perfect.
back to it at the end.
Good. All
All
right.
right,
Cool, cool,
let's
cool.
hop into daily creative challenges. Again, if you guys have not seen, you can come over here right above me to behance.net/challenge/illustrator. This is the place that every single day our creatives and our mentors are giving you lessons to step up your skills in Adobe Illustrator. Our friend Cloudy is doing them right now. I'll be back August 31st with a fun set of challenges. And our challenge today was to do neon illustrations, and yesterday was to do invitation design. So we'll look at both of those. And if you go to that link and you click right here, it will take you into our Discord, but it also will take you to the Discord right up here at bit.ly/AI Discord. That is the place to be, the community that we have going there. And let's hop over into Discord. All right, Nick, are you still
Hey,
there, or did my headphones go out completely?
I am here. Can you
Great,
hear me?
only the right side. Is the answer to that question. I like it popped and I was like, he's gone, and now you're just over here. All right, cool. So let's hop in here and do some daily creative challenge reviews. People are
Nice.
posting them like literally right now, which I love. I hope that you're here in chat.
Yeah.
Our friend Beck Nelson is here. I believe that this was the, I'm going to guess, the kaleidoscopic design here at the bottom. So let's take a look at
Yeah,
this.
that looks great. Are
It
we on
does.
BC Nelson?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep. At the very
Love it.
bottom, yes, BC Beck Nelson. Yep.
That looks great.
It
I
does.
would say maybe match. I think there's a disconnect between the outside pattern and what you see on the inside. Maybe that's okay because kaleidoscopes are supposed to be pretty random on the inside, but maybe like base it off of more of the same colors just for some unity. What do
Yeah,
you
and
think?
I think that the thing that's getting me on the pattern that you have on the top is the leaves are the only thing that are rounded. Everything else is very sharpened to a point, and the leaves are
Yeah,
very rounded. And to me, it feels like two different aesthetics. So I would just like sharpen those out a little bit, and I think that would help kind of
mm-hmm.
bring everything together.
Love it.
Great
Yeah,
job. All right, continuing up, we have an invite from our friend Daxa right above there.
nice, cool.
I swear that the second I get on camera and start talking, I just get the hiccups. My body's like hiccup time. All right, so let's take a look at this. And Nick, any thoughts?
So did they have to stick to this format, or were they open to do any kind of design?
Yeah, I'm guessing that the source file that they gave or the lesson maybe implemented this kind of structure. And so that is, you can do that. You can do whatever you want. And so I
Good.
think that the
Okay.
structure that we're seeing is from the lesson, kind of people following along.
Gotcha. Because I think sometimes like an invitation is the easiest thing to do, or it's the hardest thing to do because like you can stick to a tried and true vibe like this, the simple layout, border, nice little border around it, and all that kind of stuff. Or you see those ones that really catch your attention and very abstract and like a lot of negative space, really, really cool stuff. I'd say I would just challenge a few of these folks to, with this one, do one that's like totally like this was what I would do. I want to see one that Andrew would do in design. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Take a
and
risk.
that's what I love about the creative challenges is you can push it as far as you want. When I do the
Mm-hmm.
challenges, I very often don't show you a good source like at the end,
Yeah.
like it looks
Yeah.
really bad at the end, but we're just learning concepts. And so yeah, I'd love for those of you that are doing the creative challenges, try to get crazy with it, do it in your own voice, tell your own story, and take the lessons that you're learning from the instructors and maybe put a twist on it, and see
Mm-hmm.
where you can take it. So
Yeah.
great job. My only thing is that the like mustardy color that you have at the
Should be
bottom
just green.
should just be green. Yep,
Yeah.
stick to a 3 color. I don't think
Yep.
you need more. The colors look really great. This does feel like an upscale dinner party. This like somehow makes me want to do a wedding invitation again. I like
Mm-hmm.
never want to do wedding invitations because they're just the worst, but I kind
Yeah.
of want to do one again.
And
Um,
what'd be neat too is like if this because of the like it feels very rose kind of. I can almost see like what if you had brought a champagne bottle or a glass in the bottom right hand corner cropped out, just
oh
something
yeah,
like that,
yep.
like and add it and call it champagne dinner party.
Yes. So our suggestion is to put more booze in this design.
Please.
All right, so moving up, we are doing some neon. There we go. Today's theme is Tron. Today's entire stream sponsored by
Yes.
Tron.
Disney and
Um,
Tron.
that's it. So we're going to take a look at this neon. And CK, you say this technique is going to take a lot of time for me to get the hang of. Getting the blur
Yeah.
effect proper on each layer makes a lot of difference when putting them all together for different fonts and sizes. Very cool, and thank you. Yes, there are at least 5 different ways that I know of to do
Oh,
neon.
yeah.
100%, there are a million ways to do this. So let's take a look. Oh, the colors changed when you open it. I think probably
Yeah.
because you're saving as a CMYK or you're saving as a PNG and some of the
Yeah.
background is leaking through. That's what's happening. It's saved as a PNG. Um,
Cool.
cool. This is great. My thoughts on this are it looks like there are some areas where the actual like bulb of the neon is off a little bit from the
Yeah.
glow, especially in the starburst. It looks like it's down and to the
Yeah.
right about like 3 pixels. And so I'll just make sure that those are perfectly centered.
Hmm.
Um, and then with your grid, it looks like the bottom left corner of the C is about 2 pixels off. So I would move that just a little bit to the left,
Yeah.
to really like lock everything in. That will also get this L kind of nice in the middle. Um,
Hmm.
so those are my thoughts. Nick, any thoughts from you?
Yeah, I think neon's like a thing I don't even tackle.
Really?
Yeah, like
Really?
one I've never had like the need to like I haven't had a client that lives in that space that it would kind of work. maybe something where I was able to find a found object thing, or we use a photography of neon. I've never had to like create it. But
Interesting.
I know how hard it is. Yeah, for
Yes, it
sure.
is an absolute
Um,
nightmare
yeah,
sometimes to
because
work
it's
with.
all, even the untrained eye could look at it and say something's off.
Yep,
Like, you know what I mean, as opposed to a lot of things that like a non-creative can look at and go, that looks beautiful. So you're right, because of the way it's the curvature and the light source and how things are hitting and how things are glowing.
yep,
um my thought would be like, first just lock in a really fun, cool design first, and then do, because you're going to do all that work. Like, I'd come up with a fun, almost like sign or something that would be, that you can then take and use it in other applications. And even on these challenges, I think it would be fun to build stuff that you can expand on a little bit, you know.
absolutely.
um
And if you guys
but
want to get
great
really
first shot.
crazy, yes. So I love doing, like I was talking about, the black and white, like noir kind of neon.
Yeah.
You can animate it. So I'm going to cut over to my screen. Nick, you won't be able to see
Go.
this unless you have the monitor up
Nope.
in a second. So this is a G that I made, and it's like a neon G. Did
Hmm.
that noir texture, and I put the like light flicker on it. So this was done in
Ooh, nice.
Illustrator and Photoshop. So you can have some really powerful tools using them together to create that neon that glows and has the flicker and get really crazy with neon. I love doing lighting effects like this. I'll actually be doing some more in the next week or so on the stream. So check that out if you want. Come hang out. It'll be a fun time. All right, let's hop back into
Excellent.
Discord and continue on
Yeah.
with these. We got about 10 more minutes of this. Let's look at Black Becky here,
Great.
who has been always posting these challenges.
Yeah.
Love seeing them from you.
Good for
Any
you.
thoughts on this?
Yeah, get like, I guess, to like maybe call it, you know, Becky's juice bar. Like, might as well like have fun with it.
Yep.
Like,
And Becky,
put,
I remember during
rather
our
than
fitness
just juice
challenges.
bar.
Yep. During our
Um,
fitness challenges, she did some custom branding stuff. So yeah, continue that on with each challenge. Make it custom to you over the whole week. Just make it your own thing.
nice. Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
I think
But
that
these
it.
are, if these are all first attempts, totally cool.
Yep. I think that it looks like the definition of this could use a little more definition. It looks like maybe the blur is a little too much. I
Mm-hmm.
would add whatever that middle line is, just as a
Too
solid
blurred.
color, maybe with an inner glow on it. But I would just really hit it so that you have an actual bulb in the neon, and it's not kind of just glowy.
Yes.
All right, cool. Let's
Yes.
move up another
Totally agree.
kaleidoscopic design from Sherry.
Very cool.
There we go. Nick, any thoughts here?
Yeah, I like this little, like, kind of smudgy kind of paint effect in it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I wonder
It's,
if that's
you
like
got
art.
darks and lights in there.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like artifacting or if it is like a texture in there, like a
Hmm.
blown up JPEG maybe.
Yeah. Either way,
It's cool.
what I like about it is it's feeling like yesterday, where we had that one that feels a little textile-ish, you know?
Yes. Oh, this is very like quilty textile. I totally agree.
Tie-dye.
Oh, yep, yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, the only feedback that
Looks
I have
good.
is
Looks
to make
good.
sure that your lines are lining up. It looks like there are a couple that are not quite hitting like the exact angles. So I just watched those on some of the arrows. I like that Nick and I are both talking with our hands again. We're both like
I'm like
the
cropping it.
the
I
yeah, yeah. So I would just watch those angles, but
think
yeah,
it's
I think
cropped.
it's
It's cropped off a little bit too. Like,
yep,
yeah,
yeah. So continuing up, here we go. Ant, see, Ant
neat.
is continuing on his theme of Route 66. We gave him some feedback yesterday. Let's look at the nighttime version. I like that you did two different versions of this. Oh, you did a GIF version. Let's look at the GIF version.
Mm-hmm.
So fun. So it's got the nice little neon. Nick, any thoughts on this?
Ah,
Right? See it?
this is great, man. This is really neat. It reminds me of Toy Story with the gas station at night.
Yes.
Um, Dino gas station.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Yes.
it's really cool. I
Yep.
love it.
I love it too. I think this reminds me of like a early 2000s like web game, right? Like a game that I'd be playing that it's like Jumpstart 5th grade. Like this is the graphic from like Jumpstart 5th grade. Like that's all that I think is like you're able to like click into it and it'll like take you in there and like give you a clue or something. Um Super fun. Great job. No other thoughts. 100%. You get an A
I love
plus
it.
from
Good
Nick and
job,
Andrew.
Ann.
All right, so let's go into JD. Did three different versions. Let's look at
Very
this
cool.
top one here, the Black Lives Matter. Super Stranger Things vibes. I think you followed along with what Claudia was doing, which was really fun. Um, my only thoughts on this are if you're gonna
Yep.
do the neon glow on the top, put that neon glow on the grid as well, just to give it all that same, like it's in this ether of technology.
Yeah. The
Uh,
Illustrator Challenge one comes off very bright and cool. Like that has that very high definition, high like kind of like contrast between the background. That to me says neon more than anything there.
It's true, yeah. It does have
Hmm.
the contrast and like the pop, and especially that pink really communicates the neon.
Yeah.
The black background I think here is like pushing it too dark. Having like even taking that to an 85% gray on the Black Lives Matter one will give that neon something to interact with. Having it
Hmm.
on that flat black really like kills some of the glow. And so if you do a little bit of a lighter color, it will actually make that glow more.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
All right,
But
continuing up.
great tries. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Another Dinner Party by JD. Let's take a look at that one. Uh, a
A
little bit
lot
of a
of dinner
different,
parties
lot
going
of
on in the
dinner.
next
There's
few
a,
weeks.
yeah, you guys, this is irresponsible. We're supposed to be, these are digital dinner parties, right? We're all going to be sitting
Yeah.
in front of our cameras, socially distanced, eating our pasta. Um, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Nick, can you please start doing like Chef Nick like delivery services of
I think
pasta?
so.
Because I could use some good Italian food.
Oh my God, it's happening the minute we're off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, follow Nick for the follow-up stream where he just cooks for the rest
Just
of the
yeah,
day.
exactly.
That's it. Uh,
This
Nick.
one, I think we got to get the border a little more in ratio to the size. It looks like you can
Yep.
raise the green square up like a little bit just to get it in there. Um, Again, like take a chance. What's the separator between the photo and the green square? Can you do something fun with a double line or a square that has, square corners or something ornate? I think could
Yep.
be a nice little change of pace.
Yeah, and the thing that I would love to see here, I would actually love to see this like pushed into the background a little bit. Put this on like almost like a stake maybe, right? That it
Mm.
has something coming up that it turns into a sign. Put a little like white frame on
Ah,
it, right? That has
love
some
it.
shading, so it looks like it's maybe like a framed picture. It's sitting on top, or it's like a sign that you've like punched into the ground down under there, and it's almost like a photo.
Love
And
it.
so putting it in context, I think, would help a little bit.
Mhm.
But yeah, great job. I think that looks great.
Very cool. Very cool.
Let's go ahead and scroll down to the very bottom. Someone has just posted
Ooh.
something. Oh, it is just a message. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Uh, we tried. Let's do one more, and then we'll hop back and do a recap of the day. We don't
Kill it.
have one more. Claudia's is right there. Okay, Andrew, stop pushing it. That is the end of our daily creative challenge reviews. I was really trying there to keep it going. That's the end of our daily challenge reviews. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop back in and do an overview of all the things that we
Yeah.
did today. We covered so much here with our friend Nick Longo, going through Aero. We went through Dimension. We were in Illustrator doing some packaging design. So Nick, take it
Yeah.
away. I'm gonna pop over to your screen.
Cool. I wanted to show
Um,
you two other examples of what Dimension can do.
yes, show
So
us.
even if you're doing packaging like this, which are bottles and squeeze tubes or whatever they are, and you can actually even, this is totally different. This is like if they're laying down on a flat surface. And I brought in this was a picture I took of concrete. Like, I mean, it's that simple, right? It's amazing.
This is amazing. So like this would be great. I need to do some building signage mock-ups where we're doing like a
Oh, there you
20-foot
go.
sign. 100%. I'm like, cool, I have a photo of the building. Here I am in 3D placing this in there.
Exactly.
And then can
Yep.
take it into Photoshop and do like, cool, let's do lighting effects behind it. Let's do a GIF where it's
Yeah.
changing colors where you can see it at night. Like all that stuff. That's
Exactly.
amazing.
So this is another one. This one I thought really worked out great too, where I found this asphalt picture, but I didn't realize could I get everything to line up in the right perspective. And it actually helped me do it. It was a little bit of fine tuning in there as well. But you can see how dramatic the lighting gets, and all the edges have those little bits and pieces on there. It looks like I literally took a photograph of this thing. It's just
It really does.
unbelievable.
I think
Unbelievable.
that like before I knew that you're doing this much in Dimension, looking at
Hmm.
your website. So I'm gonna pop over there real
Oh,
quick.
sure.
Looking at your website, right? We see, and this is the same project that just came up. I'm
Hmm.
like, man, this stuff is so good. He must have a really good photographer. Like his work is awesome. And I like not for once did I think that any of this was digital. Um, and it's so amazing that it's like, oh yeah,
Isn't
it's
that
all
crazy?
done in Dimension. It's all just like, and that way you can really manage and make it pixel perfect the way that you need it.
Exactly.
That's
And
insane.
9 times out of 10, a client has seen it and went like, "Wait, we just spent dollars on, photography." I'm like, "Well, I'll make you custom ones." So, try, if I make them, I'm going to at least tell my client I'm doing it too, because I want to, you can get paid for doing this. Most
Yep.
of the dimension time for me is just to make the process faster or for myself. So add it to your thing. So if you're doing a packaging job, show them I can give you renderings, $250 each or whatever it costs. And you're like, bam, they'll show them a few examples and they'll love it.
Yep. And if
Well,
you
here it
have a
is.
brand system that
Yeah.
has like textures and patterns that like help to build your brand out, literally grab any 3D model, throw that pattern on there and be like, now it's a
Yeah.
brand element. Like,
Yep.
yep.
Look at that. So there we are. This is kind of everything. This is fully rendered and done. It will be a PNG. Again, you can turn it into a PSD and you get all these layers and you can go fine tune it even more. If you're, I think a lot of us are probably a little more comfortable with lighting and everything in Photoshop.
Yep.
So this gives you that, that way to do it. And then our final piece here was what we just finalized here with both our front and back, and we're good to go. And I can send this to the client and hope for that fantastic reply back saying, looks good. And then I can say, you want to see a video of this? Go check
Yeah.
it out.
Yep. So that's one of the best things. If you guys are getting involved in streaming or if you are doing a case study, literally record it, do a screen capture, and that way the case study you have videos to be able to like go through and show your clients. Do you
Exactly.
do that ever? Like have here's part of the process and like run through?
I should really do that. No, I always think of it too late,
Yep.
and here I am, I tell students that all the time and I never listen to it.
Yes.
A few times what I have been doing is anytime I come across some little shortcut or thing I do, that I film. And I'm trying to build those together into a nice, like, chapters of like process flow and things to save time, template building, you name it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
man.
if you again want to follow Nick, you can follow on Instagram, on his website, and on Twitter. Wade will drop those links for you. I'm gonna
Thanks,
hop
Wade.
into the schedule for the rest of the day real quick. And so we have right after this, our friend Howard Pensky is back with the daily creative challenges for Adobe XD. And then right after that, we have Voodoo Val topping off the day with Made by Lisa Marie, which is going to be a super fun design challenge. Some things that are coming up that I want to put on your calendars. Tomorrow, 1 p.m., we will be back with office hours, working through some stuff. If you have suggestions for topics that you would want us to cover on office hours, go ahead, drop those in chat right now. If you have questions for us, go ahead and drop them in chat. We got about 5 minutes here. Or
Nice.
if you want to post your work to get reviewed, post on social media using hashtag Adobe Office Hours. And yes, it is always a great stream with Nick Longo. Anytime Nick is here, it is
Do
a
we have
great
it? Do I
stream.
have any friends in stream? I can't see chat.
Oh
So
yeah, we have
who's
Jason
who's around?
Story, Ariana, our friend Ritesh is there.
Yeah.
If you're Nick's friend, let us know.
Please let me know. I
Please,
just need to know someone watched.
please, I need to know that someone is watching. Gosh, story of my life. Um,
I just,
and
just want to be
gosh,
loved.
I just
Is
want to
that
be
is that so
loved.
wrong?
That's it. That's it. And
I
then
love it.
one more thing that you can put on your calendars is next Monday and Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. We are doing a new show called Design in the Dark, and the premise is we have a creative brief which I will be art directing and an artist who will be executing. At no point will the artist ever know the creative brief, and I will not be able to see their screen. And so I'll need to art direct them into a product using visual communication. So you can tune back in
That's
there.
great.
And Wade, our moderator, wants to be your friend. So that's something to
Thanks,
look
Wade.
forward to for you, Nick. Yeah. Yeah, if you have any questions for us, drop them in chat. Again, we have about 5 minutes here. Nick,
Excellent.
can you go between the very first thing, maybe walk the sketch and then to step one and then step two, all the way through the
Ooh,
steps that we did just to see
yeah.
how far we got?
Yeah, so we had all the way from the rebrand here. and everything we did to kind of get to that new point, and we got to look at our final box that the client had put in and that we knew what we were going to do. Then we went to this guy, which we were messing around with because our original beautiful sketch was here. We brought in the artwork directly from the labels to now take them and bring them over to something that was more square format. This was our first attempt. We went through everything, showed it off to the client overnight, got the comments back this morning. And what we did was we were able to put this together,
And sorry, Nick,
both
one
sides.
time on that
Yes.
one before. So when we were working on this, right, you kind of went, sorry, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like thrown together. Did you button this up to show it to the client, or were you literally just like, cool, like there's imperfections here. What do you think about this
Oh, I
idea?
did, totally did button it up. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just those fine tune, like make sure lineups and alignment was great.
Yep.
Also, too, what I always do is I do one more pass through the last email I got, and make sure I'm getting every checkpoint. So it's not, there's nothing we forgot.
Yep, 100%. I'll usually grab whatever the email is, put it in a Google Doc, and then just highlight the things in red as I get them done. To be like, cool,
Yeah,
let's make sure that we hit all these things that they want. Um,
exactly.
all right,
Yeah.
question. What is the font that you use for palm oil? I believe that it
Oh,
was
Houseorama League Night. It's from the House Industries collection.
Houseorama League Night. Okay, so we
First
did
first foundry I ever bought. Like I bought the whole thing because it's just
really.
like it's mostly like fun display fonts that you can use as accent or for logo and branding, but really fun stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for those of you in chat who need some new terminology, display fonts are fonts that are typically used for headlines. They're usually all caps, big and bold. So
Yes.
there's your vocabulary for the day.
Perfect. I love it, man.
Uh,
How'd we do?
Good, great. We have about 4-ish minutes
Five
left,
ish.
and we had a couple
Nice.
questions come in.
Yeah.
Are the small things like barcodes a mock-up, or do they have actual barcodes to place?
Oh, either way. So they have to at least come up with the number. They have to find a way to assign a number that they can get, and it goes into the UPC system. And then if they can either, they might have a vendor that does it, or I have the software that does it as well. So you just plug in the numbers. It gives you a little AI file. I love using the EPS version, so I don't have to worry about a linked like PNG or anything like
Yep.
that. And I can outline it and lock it, and I know nothing's going to get issued with that. You can, the cool thing too is like people are getting very creative with their UPCs. As long as you have the max square area, the lines can grow and you can make, like sprouted plants coming out of them and everything. So
Yep.
I love that. That's really something clever.
I was literally just going to ask you. I saw one that was a zebra, and I was going to ask if you've done anything fun with the labels. Have you got to implement that at all?
Yeah, we did one where we turned it into rolling hills. So it looked like one went this way and then another one hit this way, and then there was like a little farm on the top of it,
Oh
which
my
was great.
gosh, that's so fun.
I seen one that looks like a comb, because it was
Oh
like
yeah.
it was hair care products for men, and the UPC thing was literally they rounded off the top, and as long as all the lines are there and undisturbed, anything you add to it is okay.
That's so cool and that's something that like definitely like is the extra step, that it's not
Yes,
just like, oh, I'm thinking about like the packaging. I'm thinking about what the experience is like, and it's that
exactly.
little moment of surprise,
Yeah,
right? We talked about that the
yeah,
influencer is like, this is so cute, and it's the dumbest little thing, but
yeah.
it can make all the difference.
Or and
Um,
you don't want your client to find out that they exist. You want to tell them that it exists. Those are always
absolutely.
great things to do.
Yep. A question from our friend Ritesh.
Yeah.
Can we talk about case studies of completed projects tomorrow? What is to be complete? What is to be included, and is there a professional way of showing the process?
Ooh, we
Uh,
did one.
yeah, we did one. Gosh, how many weeks ago was that?
It's gosh, it was probably in our second or third month. We did a whole thing on case studies. So
Yep.
look it up on the if you search both our names and Adobe on YouTube, you'll find it. Maybe I'll find it and I'll send it to him on Instagram as well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Ritesh, just reach out, send us a DM, and we'll find that and talk to you about it.
Yeah.
All right, 2 minutes left. Nick,
Whew.
do you have any sage wisdom? I know
The
I tried
sage.
to like land the plane. It's so hard to time, and I tried to land it
I
a little
know.
early, so we're just like
I know.
hovering. So
Oh yeah, I'll
yes.
say this. I'll put this on one of my link trees. So if you follow me at Longo Designs on Instagram, follow me there. In the link tree, I'm going to put the downloadable PDF that my friend Jordan Wilson and I did. That's kind of an intro to packaging. And if it's something you want to get into,
Oh,
it has
nice.
all the terminology, all of those beginning steps to incorporate it and add it to to your scope of services. Gain a little bit, man. You can, if you're used to like a certain amount of budgets, you add packaging to it, it's a whole other level because you are talking about something so three-dimensional and so many multifaceted pieces to it. Add it to your scope of services if you haven't already. Look for a person like myself or Andrew that do it to mentor you as well if you need any tips or things like that and getting into it for sure.
Absolutely. And Nick, do you want to talk about the podcast in the 45 seconds we have left? Oh, yeah. What's your podcast?
Ooh,
Sorry.
yeah.
That was like a weird
Follow
question.
us at the deeply graphic the Deeply Graphic Design Cast is our podcast. We're making a bit of a merger, trying to get it on all the platforms right now. It's on Spotify, it's on Google Play, it's on Apple iTunes or podcast, and we're making some changes to it and trying to diversify it, add some new speaking voices to it. We're gonna have a blast over the next few years.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So check that out. You can get all kinds of content from Nick at all those places in the link tree. You can again have more content from Nick this Friday and every single Friday on office hours. You can follow Nick on Instagram. You can find out where he lives and stalk him. You can just like follow Nick everywhere he goes. Follow all of his work.
I'll be cooking later on tonight, so come on by.
Follow if you don't post previews on your Instagram, I'm going to be furious.
Just follow your nose.
Yes, follow your nose. So thanks so much for hanging out today, Nick. It was a pleasure. Chat, absolutely loved watching
Thanks
you work.
for hosting, bro. This was great.
Everybody,
thanks everybody.
Stay tuned next for our friend Howard Pinsky coming up with the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. And Alexandra says she just caught up on the podcast. So thanks for listening, Alexandra. All right, we will see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. Set your calendars. Follow us on Instagram. We'll post a countdown you can set on those reminders. So we will see you later. Bye.
Later, guys. Bye.